Hello friends, this is the Cryptonian taking a look at Bitcoin and a few of the altcoins this morning. It's North American East Coast time. It's about 4:30 a.m. on a Tuesday, North American time, and taking a look at Bitcoin. We did have a bit of a push to the upside. We can see that we have an Elliott wave count of 5 bringing us up to this point of rejection, and now we're having the corrective phase of the Elliott wave cycle, bringing us down a little bit here. So currently we can see that we are in a descending channel, okay, for Bitcoin, and that descending channel, not really sure where it will end up, but we have a estimated correction between let's see, 20,000, about 20,268, which would be about here, all the way down to the Fibonacci 618, which is 19,371. So anywhere from a little bit lower where we are now down to about 19,500, I would say, in that area. So we do see on the 1 hour that we are stochastics is at the top, and most likely will put in a push or impulse to the downside, and then that most likely would bring us somewhere close to that area. Now, that being said, we do have clusters showing an upward momentum push, and so usually what we see is some type of a push and then a pause. And so we've had our push and now a possible pause or sideways movement on the cluster, showing that little bit of a momentum from stochastics to the downside. So we are running into our moving averages, and we did have a crossover. We did have a crossover of the 50 with the not the 200 but the 100, right? We did have the cross a long time ago with the death cross. It's called a death cross, where the 50 crosses below the 200, 200 being this white line here. And we had that some time ago, and that's why we had that big sell-off to the downside. And now we're having we tried to push up and bring a golden cross into the picture here. Couldn't do it. The golden cross, of course, would have been this orange line crossing up over the white line, 200 moving average, 50 and 200 moving average to the upside. That is a golden cross, and that's very bullish, and that means that it's officially bullish, and that did not happen yet. So Bitcoin had a hard time doing that. It was very close to getting that done, but actually, did we actually get that done? Did we actually have a cross? Actually, we did. We had a crossover here, but we could not hold it. And this is what I was talking about in previous video. I said, pay attention, look and see what's going on with Bitcoin, because we could have that that bullish crossover. Now, we did have it here on the 1 hour, didn't get it on the higher time frames, and so Bitcoin just could not maintain the momentum to the upside. However, all is not lost. I have a few things to share with you that is positive, at least positive in the short term, right? So the first is on MarketWatch, had an article, and according to Bespoke, historically during this time, there's usually some type of a bounce, some type of a seasonal pick-me-up, and a little push to the upside. So that is good news. This could be happening not long from now. And also, the other chart I'd like to show you is the 200 weekly moving average for Bitcoin. And this is called a heat map, and you can find it at lookintobitcoin.com. And basically the heat map shows you the different cycles and when typically is the best place to buy the bottom, right? So we have the 200 weekly moving average. We did break it here. You can see that we're below this line. This line is the 200 weekly moving average. and this squiggly line at the top is the price. You can see here we did break it, and on the heat map, when we're cool, when we're in the dark blue, excuse me, in the dark blue or even purple, that is a very good price historically to be purchasing Bitcoin. Now let's take a look. Now that you see that we're a little bit below that 200 weekly moving average, let's take a zoom out, and you can see that historically, you can see here, okay, and here, and here, these were great times to buy, because if you bought back here in 2015, 2016, then you would have caught the bottom and you would have rode that all the way up from a price of, well, okay, remember these prices are 2015 prices, right? $245 all the way up to 16,910. So that's pretty good return on your investment. And then in 2018, 2019, we had a price of 3,600 and we rode it all the way up to, well, that really wasn't, it was a bottom, but we had a double bottom. So from there, 3,600 to about 13,000. And then that wasn't really the top, though. We had another bottom at 5,000, and then we rode that up to, it looks to be 63,000. No, I'm sorry, 69,000. So typically, hitting this 200 weekly moving average line is typically historically the bottom and the best place to buy, which that's where we are now. We're actually below that line, and we have traveled below that line and historically a little bit, but we didn't stay down there very long. We had a pretty quick bounce to the upside from there, and then we went back up. And these red dots pretty much show you where the top is, okay? And that coincides with the heat map on the right side, this legend here. So that being said, we could be experiencing a bottom here, and typically and historically this has been a good time to buy. Now I can't be giving, this is not financial advice, do not misunderstand me. I'm just sharing information with you and what I see on the chart. So that being said, we could expect some type of continuation to the upside if the if history repeats itself. Okay, now remember, we do have some global economic issues that can cloud the situation a little bit. It can make things a little bit unreliable. But that being said, again, we're in a corrective phase in a descending channel for Bitcoin, and as long as we're in this channel, we can expect to continue to go lower. And on the, at least in the short term time frame, we could have an impulse to the downside. And in my opinion, that could be very close to the last impulse we have, or we could just have a continuation and a breakout moving up to the upside, right? So this week is critical, and I've said this before. Looking at, you know, the chart that I just showed you of the 200 weekly moving average, this week is crucial and critical. I've said that these 2 weeks would be crucial and critical, and that was last week, this weekend, past weekend, and now this week. All right, so we really need to make a move to the upside if we're going to continue moving higher and test a new all-time high, and that depends, that remains to be seen if that's going to happen this week or not. So now what's interesting is when we look at the altcoins right now are just waiting to go up. You can see they're ready, they're primed, everything is in the green, slightly in the green, and excuse me. And so we have a market waiting to go higher. Now, whether we will or not, I hope we will. I really hope we will. I hope that this is the bottom and that we'll move higher. But we're just not seeing the same institutional um, involvement as we did before. We're not seeing the same Wyckoff accumulation zone and things like that. So um, it could be because we had such a big drop that, instead of having a Wyckoff accumulation zone, we had this what looks to be like this V kind of bounce, and that's very possible. So we just have to be patient, friends. We need to wait and see where we're going from here. Now, one that I'm going to keep my eye on, one project is AAVE. AAVE has been showing a lot of strength, and you see AAVE mimicking Bitcoin in a way, but AAVE has shown a lot of strength here. So AAVE is in a also a downtrending descending channel. However, if we break this, we can expect to go to the upside. Now, on the 1 hour, on the shorter time frame, AAVE is looking like it could get a death cross here with the 50 crossing over the 200 moving average. And that's really what gave us the strong rally to the upside before, when we had the big reaction here, because we had a golden cross. We see back here, we had a golden cross, and that is when AAVE really took off and put in some really big pushes to the upside. So that being said, we could be in for some short-term additional downside. It just really depends on Bitcoin. I'm not too concerned with this death cross on the lower time frame. You see things happen like this on lower time frames, but the longer time frame really is not affected. And also, excuse me, the market's following Bitcoin. So, if Bitcoin continues to go higher, the market will go higher, and this will reverse pretty easily, I think. So, that being said, friends, that's what I'm looking at today, this morning. And I'm just going to be paying attention to the economic news. I'm going to be paying attention to the markets to see whether they're going to be opening and pushing higher or not. Now we see AAVE getting close to breaking out of the channel here. We did have a small little double bottom, and I'm going to be watching AAVE closely. If AAVE breaks out, holds the breakout, and then pushes higher, I'm going to be buying AAVE. I like AAVE. AAVE is a explosive project price wise. So, and then you can see Engine is doing well. Engine has been showing a lot of strength. You can see here on the 1 hour time frame, just nothing but up, still in an uptrend. And on the 4 hour time frame, you can see AAVE is just really showing a lot of strength here. Now, I'm not saying buy AAVE. I'm not. AAVE is overextended to the upside. You can see here we had some bearish divergence recently. Here we're up against the 200 daily moving average. Now is not the time to buy Engine, but I do like it because it is gaming, and Engine is has been around a while, so it has been tested through the ups and downs of crypto and the market. So I like Engine, but I want Engine to respond by having some type of a pullback. Either that or the market moving decisively higher. So there you have it, friends. That's what I'm looking at right now. Bitcoin is in a correction, and the market is just waiting on Bitcoin. The altcoins are still taking most of the momentum right now. But let's take a look. Let's take a look real quick with Bitcoin dominance here. Bitcoin dominance is coming down a little bit. We can see that Bitcoin dominance pretty much has just been going sideways. Let's take a look here. Yep. Yeah, so you can see that Bitcoin dominance has just been going sideways. So there's a balance between the altcoins and Bitcoin, and you can see that recently right here there was altcoin dominance recently here, and also just in this last week we've had a real big rally from altcoins, and that's because the Bitcoin dominance has gone down here, and so the momentum changed to the altcoins. So right now, that's why you see that Bitcoin really isn't doing much. Lately, it's in a tight range. It's up 1.3%, but there are other altcoins that are up a little bit more than that. AVAX up almost 3% this morning. Now, I'm imagining that if Bitcoin does have a correction continuing to the downside, then a lot of these will continue with Bitcoin. However, if Bitcoin does remain stable, a lot of these altcoins will push up higher and rally. So keep that in mind. And if you're looking at your favorite project. Okay, so there you have it, friends. I don't want to make the video too long. Bitcoin is in a correction, downward channel right now. We could be seeing a little bit of momentum before we continue to the upside, or we could have a little bit more downside. So I'll be paying attention. We all need to pay attention to the market and see what's going on. But in the very short term, we are under a impulse to the upside signal, and we've run into moving averages right now. So it makes sense that we could have a pullback, something like this for Bitcoin, maybe a deeper correction down closer to 20, or a shallow correction just down here retesting maybe 20,500 to 20,700, creating a small reverse head and shoulders, and then a breakout to the upside. So I am surprised that Bitcoin is holding up so well. Bitcoin is holding a lot of its gains from the bottom here, local bottom, way back when we had that big dump. Not really that far back, but here on a 1 hour chart it does seem to be a bit back. So down here, that big impulse to the downside, Bitcoin then responded with a nice push to the upside, but ran into a lot of resistance. So the bears are trying to break it down, and Bitcoin's trying to hold above 20K. 20K, 20.5K is critical. Bitcoin needs to hold above 20.5K to resume to the upside. If it breaks that 20K psychological support zone, then we could be seeing much lower prices. So Bitcoin does look bullish here. It does look like it's resisting a large move to the downside. And so it's more of a, after we've seen this third wave, the biggest wave, we've seen more of a sideways action and a muted correction so far. So it looks like Bitcoin has a lot of upside pressure and wants to go higher. That being said, short term, immediate short term, like I said, probably some type of an impulse to the downside, and then maybe a retest of this trend line. Thank you, friends, for watching. We'll see you in the next video, and please click like and subscribe if you are finding these videos beneficial. And again, remember, not investment advice. Take care.